2026, and it's a good Sunday morning in Asia time. Okay, let's start with today's Nasdaq. So on Friday, we can see that Nasdaq was very bearish at the end, and it closed below my buy zone, and that is why I felt that next week, which is the coming week, we will see a drive down to this level that triggered the spike of the rally. Okay, this is the first level. This actually, in fact, this is a second level, this is a third level. The first level will be here, but of course we won't be seeing this because it might not be happening that fast, so we're not going to see this like, okay, this will happen in 2026. I believe that after the midterms this might happen, but at the moment I'm looking at the nearest one, which is here and here, 27,000 and to this range. This is a start of another fresh rally. Okay, so I believe that the market will drop all the way down to 27,800 to 27,500 to 27,800. Okay, this is a point whereby the Nasdaq will drop all the way here to the next buy zone, despite the news saying that Trump postponed the planned attack on Iran. In fact, I can tell you that this is orchestrated to soften the impact, but the sell will still continue because inflation is still high. Even though and tariff, Trump proposed a new wave of tariff, and even more tariff on Canada, and a lot of the trading partners are not happy, and they're going to pass down the cost to the consumer, and Trump's citizens will be in pain because when he pass down to the consumer, every US citizens will pay the same price. Yeah. So the tariff, is it helping the citizens? I'm not too sure. Is it helping the country? Yes, but that money will go to where? Which person's pocket? We don't know. But ultimately, I don't want to touch on politics, and we just look at charts. I just share some insights, and we may see that the price may continue to go further down to 27,800 to 27,500, the region here, because this is the part whereby the rally starts. The next wave of rally starts. Okay, we have further down. But okay, this one will be the 26,000 area. But we're not going to look at 26,000 so fast, because I think Trump is manipulating the news, and thus we're going to see sell off to here. We may see that the initial buy, and to pull in the buyers to come in because of the news that Trump postponed the attack. Okay, we may see some like push up to this level. You can see this level. If we fail to push upwards, then we may come back down. As you know, the earnings report from the hyperscaler, like some of the Googles are coming up, and Google's has already finished, and we are like hyperscaler like Apple, Amazon, and many others. Okay. Of course, the chips companies are also having some positive news, but nevertheless, if the market want to sell, and whatever news comes out is just purely narrative for them to sell. Okay, so actually the current news setup is quite neutral. Trump delay, but some of the earnings is not that good anymore, or cap at the earnings. Like I mentioned during my session with a few investors, right? In 2023, Nvidia starts the AI rally, and why the rally has halted for Nvidia is because companies are catching up. They are not the only one that is supplying the AI chips anymore. They are not the one that is manufacturing all these AI chips anymore. There are all the companies in the world that are manufacturing this. So that's why they are capped. Secondly, is the demand and supply. Yeah, so in 2023, when it first started, right, the demand was high, but the supply was low. So that is why the chip supply, and that is why the price goes up. But once the companies are catching up and they are producing more, do you think that the supply will still be shortage than the demand? And all the narrative saying that the supply is still short of the demand is all bullshit. It is catching up. Many companies are doing it already. So first of all, the semiconductors are in danger because they already front run the price for 3 years. 2023, NVIDIA starts. 2024, the AMD, TSMC, all these companies read it so hard. And that is not because, because of AI chips, all this. Because they front run the price for the next 3 to 5 years. And in 2024 to 2026, we're already ending to the second year and going to the third year. And that is why you may see that there is a stall in price movement already. And you are going to go in at this price range at the TSMC, the AMD, and I think you just have to watch out. But anyway, we are going to talk more on stocks set up, right, in my next video. So now we are going to talk about indices. So we're going to see the price will start coming down in to this level for Nasdaq on the daily time frame. 4 hour time frame, you can see that it's already tapping this area, and tap one time, come down, tap 2 times, come down. So that's why I believe that we may see to 27,800 soon, which is for next week. Yeah, this is for Nasdaq. Okay, let's go to SPX, which is S&P. Daily time frame, we are still in this range, and we are in the middle of the range. Yeah, in the middle of the range, and I see that we may see. Okay, so you must understand that this is the thing. This is the bias. I mentioned a lot of times. This is the bias. This is the buyer zone. Buy zone for buyers. No, that's why you can see that the red bar, the green bar, then the buyers step in again. Red bar, the buyers step in again, then the long sellers come in to disrupt the buyers. But buyers come in again, but sellers come in again. So you can see that the sellers are not relenting, and they have the chance to sell if they got the chance. Yeah, so I gained some, yeah, for this recent sell, and I am looking at the next one, which is at this 7,300 points area, which is here, whereby there's also a couple of buy zones here. You can see that whenever this area here still have a lot of buy zones, and then here the untapped buy zone ever since this part of the rally. We tap here, this green bar tap a bit, and then we move higher. Okay, but if you ask me, yeah, you can see that there are plenty of buy zones here. Okay, so this is untested. Okay, this is untested buy zone, the start of the next rally. Okay, we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna do up to here. Yeah, so you can see the confluence that SPS is still strong because of Magnificent 7, which also because of hyperscalers. Hyperscalers is still the one that will push the market up because AI is still very strong. Okay, chips wise, like I mentioned, semiconductors are already diluted to most of the companies already. So if you don't want to have expensive chips, you go for the China chips, right? Like what Apple is doing. So everywhere has a chips. So there is no reason or no excuse that price remain high, and because of supply is not enough, that actually in fact the supply should be enough, yeah, to accommodate all the AI buying demands. So hyperscaler will be the one to go in the future, which is why we need to know which one to get in. And that's why on my next video, I will be talking about hyperscalers. Okay, so this is the buy zone, and we can go to 7,300 if the Nasdaq drops to 27,000. I can see that SPS can go to 7,300 to 7,200 area. Okay, we may even go below that to 7,177. Yeah, so SPS is in a very tight range, but it's very strong because of the Magnificent Seven and some of the hyperscalers companies, which is also in the Magnificent Seven. Yeah, so this is SPX on the 4-hour time frame. We're gonna see whether it's very bearish. Yep, you can see that it drop off, retest, and come back down again. Will we come back down to 7,300? Yes, we may be. Yeah, but you can see the buying is so strong. You can see all the wicks here. So SPX is not as bearish as the Nasdaq. Okay, it's not as bearish as the Nasdaq. You can see the buying is strong here in this area. So we can see that price will be hanging around at 7,300 area for next week. Yeah. So for gold wise, last week I called for the buy because I mentioned that gold is in this buy zone, and we bought gold. Yeah, of course I bought gold, not we. Yeah, so I was saying that we go up and we come back down, and soon enough we come back down again. Yeah, so we going to buy and sell because gold is performing like this. Yeah, so until then I see that the gold failed on the buy zone, which is here. Okay, confluence here between the 3,900 to 4,000. 3,900 to 4,000. If we failed below 3,900, right, then I believe that gold may reach to 3,500, which is this area. Yeah, so gold may retrace back all the way to 3,500, probably end of the year. Yeah, so at the moment we just tap on gold for possible buy. Yeah, 4-hour time frame. Okay, I always do 4-hour time frame because it is easier to track. Okay, like I mentioned on the previous video, I say that gold will come up and then we will tap this. So it actually went below. Yeah, went all the way below. Yeah, so what's next for gold? Okay, so currently gold is still at the moment bullish at the moment, because you can see that it tapped this the breakout point and then come back up again. So we're going to look at 1-hour time frame to see where can we purchase. Yeah, this one already over. Okay, and okay, so now now we cannot let gold drop below 4045. Of course, if drop below 4045, then we may see some sells, but of course this whole entire area is still bullish. So I believe that here is the place that I am interested in next week if price come down. Okay, so at here 4029, and if there's on a shorter time frame there's a bullish candle or building, or there's a structure building higher lows, I will go in. Yeah, so currently I see that possible buy here. Okay, for on Monday. Yeah, possible buyer if it comes back down to 4029. Yeah, my stop loss. Okay, my stop loss 4029, right, will be here. Yeah, my stop loss will be here. Yeah, my stop loss around 4,000. Okay, yeah, 4,000. So there's around 20 plus points. So because we are looking at a higher time frame, yeah, so you have to manage your capital. Yep, so this is gold, and JPY is crazy. Yeah, JPY is crazy. USD JPY is crazy. It's because they hit the all-time high and 163, and then it hit another all-time high. It's going to be 164. I think they hit almost 164. Yeah, close to 164. And we can see there will be a lot of maneuvers from the Japan side, the BOJ, and you can see that this whole green candle is very bullish, and you can see the price remains inside this green candle. And if we do a retracement, then this should be a good buy here. Okay, this should be a good buy here. Okay, if we come back down to this area, we can buy here. Okay, come back down to here, we can buy here. So for anyone that who is interested, right, once it breaks down this candle, then we can come back, then we can do a small sell position to here, which is around 0.18%. Yeah, so this is USD JPY, and USD is strong every day, every single day, and that is prompting a lot of problem from Nasdaq. Yeah, just if USD is getting stronger, right, then most of the funds, most of investors will actually sell their stocks for more cash on USD. And let's go to see FTSE. FTSE was I mentioned that it will come back. It will go. It was here last week Friday. It was here, and I was there. No, is it Friday? No, Tuesday. Tuesday was here. I was mentioning, this is a sell zone. It will come to the sell zone, come back down, and move up, right? Yeah. It went in and then moved even higher. And then now it was like going to touch back this point before moving higher, but it didn't. Yeah, so the buy on FTSE is suddenly very strong. Yeah, so this is the buy area because of the long wick here. But if we buy, this is the only two bars that we will have for profit, because it breaks over this. So profit wise, I don't think it's reasonable for us to win 50 points. On my stop loss should be close to 80 points, so not very worth it. Yeah, so we will look at FTSE again on Monday and see what can we do on Monday. Yeah, and DAX also the same. But that is in range. You can see that every time it moves to this range, it will be blocked. Yeah. So see the daily time frame for DAX. DAX is slowly climbing, and you can see the whole of DAX, right, is really not moving much since 2025. Yeah, since 2025, they are in the range. It drop below a bit, and then it pump up, and then it start to hover. So I'm waiting for DAX to come back here, somewhere here, 2420, and we can open a long position. Yeah, since DAX is very, very, very passive, and it's not moving much. So whenever it's come down, it's a buy to move up higher. Yep. So that is all for today. I touched on Nasdaq, SPX, Gold, USD JPY, FTSE, and DAX. Yeah. Thank you very much. Bye bye.